Record. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining, guys. Yay!
Okay.
I'm so glad this worked out. Tech is not my favorite thing, especially not when we have a time and a plan. Um, where we go. Where's Estelle? It's not Estelle. Where's it's Stacey. Does she have it? The link? Yeah, she does.
Mm,
Uh,
yes, probably. But we cannot have a screen
yeah,
on.
oh, we can. There's another way to it. I think so.
But I'm looking for it and I don't find it. But it's okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can just there's an option there. Ah, there we go. She's here.
I, it's okay. No problem.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, amazing.
Let's
How
go.
are we, Lee?
Great. I'm ready to start
Okay,
now.
I'm gonna amazing. Heard it was recording as well, so
Yeah.
we're on the right path. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
share a quick kind of visual with you guys as well, because if I could just get some requests or
I
the
think I'll just make you host as well.
amazing. Thank you. Just so that you guys have something to look at other than me yapping away. Okay, let's see. I have a million and one tabs opened on this laptop, so let's just hope I open the right page. You guys see this?
Yes.
Amazing. Cool. Okay. We're moving. We're in the right direction. So I know some of you guys probably have no idea who I am. I've been in the community for the since I suppose maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. Love all the messages from you guys as well. It's really, really nice to see just so many people like getting started with their business or
Yeah.
are, launching bigger things in their business. And it's just so nice to be a part of that. I'm a part of many groups in Dubai, and some of them I just kind of have to exit because they become just sales things, which is not really that fun, is it? But
The
I
whole
feel like this
reason.
community, everyone's really helping each other, which is just so nice and so different to be a part of. Hence why I reached out to like offer any help that I possibly can. But today we're going to be talking, I know I kind of dropped this in the chat, we're going to be talking a little bit around stepping into our business owner identity long before we feel like we are successful enough or a business owner. Some of us might be just getting started. Maybe some of us are trying to reach for higher level income months, attract more clients, maybe hiring staff, and we need to start stepping into that leadership role a little bit more. And it can be really daunting, right? And a lot of the time, people will go looking for strategy. But I'm kind of coming at it from a different angle today, and you'll kind of see exactly what I do. But my name is Stacey, for those of you who I haven't introduced myself to, and I think it would be quite rude of me to come here today and ask you guys to trust me and talk and share in this workshop without knowing who I am and kind of what I'm about. So briefly, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I am a business mindset coach, and I specialize in helping women go from like idea to paying clients, more so working on their inner mindset and deep blocks that are kind of holding them back and making them abandon any of those business ideas or goals that they have and allowing them to follow through to the level that they need to. So I come from a corporate background. I know somebody else here has mentioned corporate. I come from a corporate background myself. And 4 years into corporate, I found myself just extremely drained. And it wasn't the job, it wasn't anything to do really with the job. It was more so the path of the job. So I really didn't love the whole idea of being capped financially, being capped on how far I could go in a company, being stuck to kind of a desk 9 to 5, having to be there for meetings, for meetings, and not really feeling like I did anything. And I was an insurance underwriter back then, so I used to do a lot of festivals and events, insurance wise. And I started this business as a side gig, just more so to kind of give myself something to work towards, challenge myself a little bit more. And I never really had the intention of starting a business and going full time with this. And it wasn't until around maybe 2 years into my journey of doing this as a side business that I realized I did really want to be a business owner, but I had a lot of inner doubts within my head of would I be able to make enough money? Would I be able to financially support myself? Who would even buy my services? Like, would they not think that I'm just, kind of a little bit of like too small for them to invest in. Also, kind of thought that, you know what, I've just always been a corporate girl, so I could never see myself as a business owner at all. Didn't think I was ever going to be a business owner, nor did I look or feel like one. So after 2 years of me pouring my heart into this business and not really going all in, I realized that actually, you know what, I had all this strategy. I'd invested in the business mentors. I wasn't putting anything into action or not, I suppose, into enough action and to the level that I needed to in order to get success, in order to see the clients, see the money coming into my bank account, have that sustainability and consistency most important. And that's when I started doing the internal work and really just allowing myself to show up with conviction, allowing myself to present myself how I wanted online in conversations with people, believing in myself enough and believing in what I had to offer, that it was really valuable to people and that yes, they would pay me. And when I started doing that, after 4 weeks of me actually doing proper internal work, we're going to do proper internal work today, not just the surface level motivation stuff. After 4 weeks of me actually implementing that, I had quit my corporate job and I moved to Dubai. And that was just over 2 years ago now. And within months, I was outweighing my corporate salary. And I'm still here. So I must be doing something right. And I hope I'm doing something right. But what I do and why I'm here, I suppose, and why you guys are seeing me today is I do things like this, help people to do like workshops, any communities that I can really give back to, just because it's a nice space to be in. It kind of puts the fire inside my stomach. I get to work with female founders, CEOs, particularly people who are starting coaching and consultancy businesses in two phases. So whether they're just at idea phase or whether they're trying to scale. And it's really just about recognizing how they're holding themselves back and having actual mindset tools that help them move out of their own way, stop treating their businesses like hobbies and actually start going all in on themselves and having that self belief that they have something worth paying for and that they don't need to do everything for free, that they will get paid. And this is kind of something that I always add whenever I'm in a room having a conversation with anyone, is I always just remind people that like the only difference between you and the people that you might admire in business right now is that they just had the ability to show up and follow through, even when there was absolutely no guarantee that they were going to be successful and that they were going to get results, right? And that is literally, I stand by this. This is my superpower. I have built my mindset to a capacity that I always say is a little bit delulu because I reach for far more than my mind allows me to reach for. And it's only that I'm allowed and able to follow through with that action that I've gotten here today. It's not that I'm smarter than anyone. It's not that I have more qualifications, more education, more money behind me, nothing like that. I started with absolutely nothing. And I honestly say to all of the girls I work with, if you just have that ability to trust yourself and follow through with action consistently, even when nobody's watching and even when nobody's clapping and even when nobody is, you know, on your side, you will win. Like 125%, you will win. You will get there. So today's agenda, what I want you guys to come away with from today is why your brain is sabotaging your CEO dream. So specific thoughts that are keeping you stuck right now, which we call limiting beliefs in the mindset world. The identity gap then, so this is why knowing what to do isn't enough. It's, you know, how we need to be, what person we need to be, the woman we need to be to show up and follow through. And then you're going to walk away with an actual physical mindset tool that I teach, which is the CEO decision filter. Okay. This is just a simple daily practice that isn't going to take a whole pile of time out of your day, but I promise you will change the way that you're showing up to your business decisions, change the way you're showing up in conversations with people, change the way that you act. If you're able to pitch yourselves at any networking events, anything like that, that you start thinking and acting differently on just a next level. So I would love if you guys could drop a chat if any of these lines that I say is you guys either now or you've heard yourself say these things before or you're feeling like that's why we're here today. So maybe if we've had like a big idea or a goal, but we've talked ourselves out of it. If we have waited to feel ready before taking action, which is something that was me for 2 years. If we second guess our decisions that we make and we overanalyze, overthink content, overthink the conversations we're having with people, overthink how we're presenting ourselves. If we're looking at somebody else's success and think that will never be me, I'll never be able to do that or be at that level. If we've held back from putting ourselves out there because we're worried about what people might think. Okay, so when I talk about being visible, I'm not just speaking about being visible online, I'm also speaking about being visible in person around our friends, our family, our neighbors, our colleagues, wherever it might be that we're holding ourselves back because we're afraid we're going to be judged. maybe we're undercharging or we're avoiding charging for our services because we felt uncomfortable asking for the money that we want to ask for and that we're worthy of. Or we started something really strong on Monday, and then by Wednesday, we're back, holding ourselves back, not going all in, allowing ourselves to do the things we need to do. And I already see loads of chats coming in, me, all of the above. Okay, great. You're in the right place, ladies. That's all I want to know is that are we all in the right place? Are we all here? And that is just confirmation that yes, we're in the right place and you're going to take a lot from today. So let me get started. You guys have done the hard part, okay? Some of you, and I know we had a chat with some of the ladies already, you've already kind of started your businesses. Some of you might already just be sitting in those dreaming and planning phases right now, and we have yet to get started. Either or, it doesn't matter, okay? You are here because you want something different for yourself, whether you want to be your own boss or you want to call the shots or you want to build a team, you want to build an impact, you want something that actually is yours, okay? And we're all the same when we have that entrepreneurial streak. We want to build something that is ours, that we have control over, and it's usually stemming down to security and financial freedom, right? But here's what happens: a lot of the women that I work with, and probably 90% of you that are here today, even when we go to take the leap or we start thinking about taking that next step, there's a part of our brain that still operates like an employee. Okay, and whether you've had a job before or this is your first career move, when I say the word employee, I mean limited mindset, okay? So if we haven't had a job, don't worry, right? We're still thinking in a limited mindset or an employee level thinking is what I call it. And it's completely normal, okay? I'm not here to tell anyone that I haven't done that or shame anyone for thinking like this. I have done all of this stuff that I'm going to talk about today, but we've been conditioned to think like this for absolute years, okay? To follow direction, to, not go outside the norm, to have the security route, to make sure we have good jobs, we can help ourselves stay in education, do the best we possibly can, but we cannot build businesses thinking like employees. Okay, we can't wait for that level. So most of us have been rewarded for those behaviors our entire life, following the rules, not breaking the wave, okay, waiting for approval, playing it safe, making sure that we're in the norm, okay? And it doesn't matter what background we've all come from, whether we've come from different religions, different backgrounds, different family setups, it doesn't matter. There is a certain level of behavior that we have been taught just by being a part of a family that is the right thing to do, okay? And in a job or in life, those behaviors keep us employed, right? If we've been employed by a company before, those behaviors keep us employed. If we've never been employed and this is our first career path, those behaviors keep us safe and the role that we were supposed to be as a family or a woman, okay? But in business, they keep us stuck. They don't help us in any capacity, okay? So, what I talk about is employee limited mindset, okay? So, what this looks like in action is we wait for permission instead of making decisions, okay? And this permission doesn't necessarily need to be somebody telling you, hey, Stacey, go for it. Like, I fully respect your decisions, let's go. It can also just be the external validation that we're not getting. So, maybe we're not getting the likes on social media. Maybe we're not getting the approval from our friends and families. Maybe nobody is supporting our social media or nobody's supporting our conversations at dinner. They're all kind of pushing them off. You second guess yourself constantly, okay? And because we second guess ourselves, we look for that external validation even more, right? We want people to tell us we're on the right path, you've got what it takes, just keep going. And when we don't get that, it's very, very hard, okay? We might be undercharging or not even charging at all because we don't want to seem like we're pushy or we're salesy or it's too much or we don't deserve that level of income. It's greedy, okay? We might also be holding ourselves back from being visible. I know we had this conversation with one of the ladies already, just from being scared of being judged online or judged in person by those people around us, not being able to speak the way that we want to speak or show up the way we want to show up. And, authenticity right now is so huge, right, in business because everyone has now become AI chatbots, right? So we need to be able to be visible as ourselves and not an AI chatbot. And we might also, if we're in this mindset, be treating our business like a side hustle. Okay. Calling it a hobby, calling it a passion project is another thing I always hear some females say, like, oh, it's just a passion project on the side. Okay. Even though deep down, and I can see through this, it's so many times that people say this, they want it to be their main thing. They want it to be huge. They want to make an impact. But right now, their inner thoughts are just telling them it's just something small. in case it fails. We just call it a side hustle. So, what is possible now when we shift and use this tool that we're going to learn in this workshop today is we start to make decisions quickly. Okay. Everyone knows here that the quicker we can make decisions and the quicker we can move, the quicker we get results, right? We can't keep thinking and thinking and thinking and expect something to change. We have to be able to divert, to pivot when things don't go right. We have to be able to trust our decisions on the spot, making quick decisions and trusting that, whatever happens, we'll manage it. We'll be fine, right? And we also then start to shift into this worth of I know my value. I know the product or service that I offer is really valuable or could genuinely help somebody bring them happiness, change their life, change their business, whatever it might be that we're providing. We show up confidently then because we know that value, okay? We can genuinely see that. It's not fake confidence, okay? And I'm going to say something very controversial here, but I absolutely hate the phrase fake it till make it, okay? Because faking it is not confidence. It's pure fake and people can see through it. So we're not going to be faking it until we make it. We are going to be doing the things we need to do. And you end up leading yourself instead of being waiting on other people to tell you, go for it, right? And that's what happens when we shift because we're shifting their internal narratives, how we view ourselves, how we think about ourselves, how we think about our own businesses and where we're at and our own achievements to date. And so I always say to the ladies that are stuck in this mindset, it's not a someday problem, okay? We can't just keep pushing this under the rug. This is an our problem because every single month that we do not allow ourselves to show up and follow through with our business ideas that are all amazing, by the way, regardless of what background we're coming from, we are missing out. We're missing out on impact. We're missing out on revenue. We're missing out on achievements, opportunities. We're missing out on helping people who genuinely need our help. And we're missing out on that life that we want to create for ourselves, right? And when we twist that narrative a little bit and look at what it's costing us, it can genuinely start to get that fire going inside of us, okay? So if any of you guys are ever struggling with motivation, just look at what you're missing out on by not being able to show up as the business owner you want to be, okay? Or not allowing yourself, should I say, to show up as the business owner that you want to be. Because that will really get the fire going, right? And I know it's not all about money. It's not all about, revenue at the end of the day. Some people genuinely just have such a passion to help people. If that's where your motivation comes from, just think to yourself, how many people am I not helping by not allowing myself to show up and do the things I need to do for my business to get it seen, to get it moving, to get growth, to get revenue, whatever it might be, because it can really help us there. So, here's a myth that I really would love if we could just chop today in half and try to see from a different capacity. Because if I had 100 dirham every time somebody said to me, I just need to feel more confident, I wouldn't be here, ladies. I would be living it up without a career because that's a sentence that I hear every single day. I just need to feel a little bit more confident, then I will. Okay. And it's kind of a catch-22 situation or a chicken and egg situation, right? Because confidence doesn't come before we take the action and we're waiting for this feeling that's not going to come until we're able to follow through with the action. Okay. And I always joke to the girls about this. Is anyone here into the gym? Do I have any gym girls here? Yes. Okay. Amazing. Even with, well, I know we have some Pilates ladies as well. So I always joke to the girls about this. I'm like, we don't get strong, we don't build nice glutes and nice toned arms without going to the gym and physically putting ourselves through that hour of torture in my eyes, but we have to do it. That hour every single day, every single week, whatever it is, then we get the toned arms, then we get the nice physique, then we get the confidence, okay? But when we say I just need confidence before I can show up, it's like saying I just want the toned arms before I go to the gym. Okay. Doesn't really work like that, right? We all know that we got to do the hard work. Same thing with our internal narrative, okay? So I'm going to talk to you about identity today and kind of stepping into that business owner identity. Um, and I know for some people who might not have done kind of mindset or coaching before in terms of a mindset work can be very much portrayed as maybe a little bit of a woo-woo situation online, right? But this is very science-backed stuff, okay? I'm not about the woo-woo stuff. So I know when we were talking about I just need more confidence, I need to work on my mindset. A lot of the times when I ask ladies, what are you doing to help yourself feel more confident? What are you doing to be able to get to that level of business you want to get to? And 9 times out of 10, they are reading books, they're listening to podcasts, they're looking at affirmations online and trying to say affirmations. And all of this stuff is so valuable, but there's a key component missing. Okay. These are what I call accessory tools. Okay. These are what comes after we've rewired the internal stories that are telling us we're not good enough. Okay. And I'll give you a very quick example. This is coming off the back of a conversation I had with a lady this week. She said, Stacey, I'm doing affirmations every single day and nothing is working. Okay. And the reason affirmations don't work for a lot of people is because you are affirming a sentence you don't believe any part of. Okay. So if we take a sentence, for instance, people might be using, I am worthy of success. And they're shouting in the mirror and they're saying it in the car on the way to work, like, I'm worthy of success. And they're like, it's not really working. I'm like, yeah, well, do you believe you're worthy of success? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay. Saying sentences that we don't believe is not going to cut it, okay? And that's why we need to do the deeper work where we change our belief system about ourselves and change the way we view ourselves and success and our capabilities. Then the affirmations will work for us, right? Because there's a part of our brain that does believe in it. We can genuinely start to feel how that feels when we get that success. So if we are here and listening to books and listening to podcasts, these are all really, really helpful tools that we can use, but we need to do the deep work, okay, which is what we're going to do today. And this is why so many people throw the towel in with mindset work because they're like, I'm trying all of this stuff and nothing's working, Stacey. So, successful business owners, we're not successful before we become successful, right? None of us here are successful before we get to that level. So, how does one person make it look so easy and the other people make it look so hard? Or feel you might be sitting there thinking, this is so hard for me. Like, I don't know how people sign clients so easily. I don't know how people make revenue so easily. And it's because they're acting like they are successful business owners and proving to themselves through their actions on a daily basis that they are. Okay, so they're already acting and doing the things that they need to do on a day-to-day basis long before the success comes. Okay, and that breaks down to the simplest of things. That breaks down to us showing up on social media when there is no one liking our stuff. Still have to do it. That comes down to us showing up on a day-to-day basis like a business owner and setting a few hours aside for our business or whatever time we do have and showing up like we own a massive company, even when our family and friends don't even think that we have anything worth fighting for. Right? It comes down to every little thing that we do, and how we're showing up to prove ourselves that yes, we are successful. We can do this. Maybe we don't have the physical results right now, but they're coming, and we have to be able to trust ourselves to just keep showing up until that really comes for us, okay? Particularly those ladies who are just getting started. I know you were probably sitting watching other people online, watching business owners living this great life that everyone portrays on social media sometimes, and thinking, how the hell am I ever going to be at that stage? Okay. But trust me, everyone started there. Okay. Everyone started with nothing, no followers, no money, no clients, no nothing. Okay. And they've gotten to the level that they've got by acting like a business owner long before they ever were successful. Okay. So, this is the biggest mistake that I see so many women, and we're probably doing this ourselves, is we are trying to change the thoughts without changing our identity. Okay. So, anyone here hear themselves with like inner thoughts of maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not smart enough, or I'd never be able to be that confident on camera, I wouldn't be able to speak, maybe, or any of these thoughts that are going on. I see a few nods. We've all been there, right? And it's horrible when that inner nature is really negative and it's really against us. And a lot of the time, people are saying, I should be more confident. And when I look at what they're doing on a daily basis, they're still operating like an employee, okay? Or still operating like somebody who does not have a business, not the version that they need to be. And the correct approach is you need to get crystal clear on who you are as a business owner. Because in order to have success, and I know for if we're new business owners, if we've never had a business before, guys, we have to let go of our old version of ourselves and we have to become the business owner, right? So for those of you who are in corporate, we have to take the corporate hat off. We are no longer the corporate girl. We are the business owner. she's different, right? The way she shows up is different. How she spends her time is different. Who she surrounds herself with is different. Okay. And so when we're crystal clear on who that CEO version or that business version is, we can start showing up as her. Okay. And she already exists. Okay. I'm not going to ask you guys to make up this farce person. She already exists because you're here for a reason. Every single one of you have already got started, right? Or you've got the plan and you know where you want to go with this. So you're just becoming more like the version of you who's wanted this for so long. And we need to bring her out, okay? Or them out, or he out, whatever we want to say. But we need to bring her into the peripheral vision every single day and strip away the fear and the conditioning that we've had as kids, okay? So I use this question, and if you take anything from today, it's take this one thing, okay? This question is the forefront of my mind every single day. What would the CEO version of me do? Okay, I have a name for her, and I've got a workbook for you guys as well that you can take away from today to really dive into this because I know we only have like 35, 40 minutes and it isn't enough. So I've done a workbook for you guys that you can take away and really get to grips with who the CEO version of you is. And every single morning, the simple thing of what would that version of me do? How would she show up today? If we're stopping ourselves from creating content, what would the successful version of me be saying in this content today? Would she be hiding? Absolutely no way, right? She'd be out there front and center. So this is one daily practice that I would love to give to you guys. And as I said, I do have a workbook for you, which goes a lot deeper than what we can do today, or we'll be here for a couple of hours. Um, but right now, we're going to do some of the work so that you can continue it in the workbook yourself. So the step one, and this is 2 minutes, guys, right? So I know probably we're all addicted to social media at this point. I know, hands up, I'm addicted to watching like makeup tutorials, all of that stuff. I can spend hours scrolling on people who tell me how to perfect my makeup, right? 2 minutes is all this takes every single day. Okay. And if we can't set 2 minutes aside for our business, we've really got to ask ourselves what's going on, okay? So every single morning, and you can use the workbook, it will make a lot more sense. I want you to imagine the CEO version of yourself or the business owner version of yourself. If CEO doesn't align with you right now, if you think CEO, that language doesn't really fit me, I'm a founder, I'm a coach, I'm a healer, whatever it is that resonates with you, I want you to ask yourself what that version of you is like, okay? How does she carry herself? How does she show up online? How does she show up to conversations? Is she going to networking events and hiding in the corner? Or is she trying to have conversations and tell people about her business? What does she believe about herself, most importantly? Okay. This is probably going to be where you guys get the biggest breakthrough is that the version of you who is successful does not believe that she's not worthy. That has to go, right? We got to ditch that and leave that behind. We have to be able to believe that we are worthy of success, that what we have to offer is worth the money that we're asking for. Because if we don't believe that, it's going to be really hard to sell. Okay. Selling is one of those things that a lot of my clients we've really focused on is getting confident with sales because people find it icky, right? They're like, oh, I don't want to pitch and I don't want to tell people about what I do. And I'm like, well, you're doing people a huge disservice because you have something fantastic to offer them that could genuinely change somebody's life and you're hiding it. Okay. So, how does she show up in conversations? Give her a name. Okay. I know this sounds really funny, but there is method to the madness. If we can give her a name, we can step into this alter ego of ourselves. Okay. And it doesn't have to be the same name that we were christened with or that we were baptized with or that our parents gave us. If that doesn't resonate, if we feel like we're not there yet, give her another name. Okay. And once the name is there, what we're going to start doing is in the morning when we say, okay, well, what would CEO Sarah do today? Right? If we're going to name her Sarah, what would the version of me who is successful, what would she be doing today? Okay, how does she dress? How does she show up? And the more we can get to grips with who she is and build a relationship with her, it's easier to step into her identity until it becomes us, right? Because I don't know if anyone here is currently still working their corporate career and starting a business, or maybe they're still in two different roles. But this works really well if we're kind of in the middle of two paths of life. If we haven't yet fully stepped into our business identity, um, and we need to step into her, okay? Give her a name. something that feels powerful, something that you genuinely want to say. Okay. And then throughout the day, before every decision, right? I don't know if you guys have like diaries or if you use Google to like make out your daily plans, whatever it is, big or small. I want you to ask yourself, what would her name do? Okay. Do I post this content? Well, what would she do? Do I reach out to these potential clients or ask to collaborate with a page? What would she do? Do I raise my prices? What would she do? Do I start pitching myself online? What would she do? Okay. Every single little decision, and I still use this to this day. Okay. There is not a day that goes by that I do not have to ask myself this question because right now the goal for me is to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I moved my business from a completely different country. So nobody knew who I was here when I moved, right? Didn't exist. I didn't have a brand. So the whole idea for me was, okay, well, if I was successful in the UAE and people knew who I was, what would I be doing on a daily basis? Right? I'd be talking to people. I'd be going to business networking events, trying to get my name out there. And that's exactly what we're doing. So it's a really quick, key thing that we can use to just get ourselves to step into that alter ego where we know her energy and we can feel a little bit more confident for that thing. Okay. And the magic is we're not trying to become more confident or fix ourselves in any way. Okay. There's nothing wrong with the version of us that we are right now. We might be just holding ourselves back a little bit more, but there's nothing wrong with her, right? She's scared. She's vulnerable. She's putting herself out there and doing things she's never done before. And that's bloody well scary. Okay. So you're simply just asking yourself, what would the woman I'm becoming do? Okay. And we're going to do that thing. The more we do the thing, the more confidence we build, right? This is the key. If we ask ourselves the question and don't follow through, it's going to do the counterproductive of no confidence building and no self-trust, right? So how many people here, I know I used to be awful bad for this. I would say I was going to do something and then I wouldn't follow through. Do we have any of those people here? Yeah, we've all been there. Hands up. I used to do it all of the time. I would say, today's the day, it's Monday, I'm going to reach out to 10 people who followed my page today. And then I go to write the message and I'm frozen. Oh God, like, no, I can't send that message. That's just really strange. People will think I'm weird. What if she thinks I'm weird and she just wants to speak back or they don't reply? All of this stuff be going through my head. But the more you ask yourself, what would the woman that I want to be or the business owner be doing today, and you don't follow through, you're proving to yourself that you're not to be trusted. Okay, we're wrecking that relationship with ourselves. So if we could just start with one decision, right? And I know it might seem like, well, one decision isn't going to get us very far, but it does, right? It's like little gold coins. Every single time we say we're going to do something and we follow through, we are allowing ourselves to step into that scary, unknown, but prove to ourselves that, hey, it's fine. I'm fine. Nothing happened. Nobody judged me. Nobody told me that I was a horrible person or that I'm greedy for wanting a business or wanting more. Okay. And the more we do that, it allows us to become that confident version that we need to be. Sorry, excuse me. I know we're kind of running out of time here and I can see the timer, but I do see a chat and I just don't want to miss a few guys. Oh, 10-minute reminder. Perfect. Okay. So can you guys see how when we're working on our identity and working on our inner confidence, it becomes really important that we show up in a different energy from this, from where we are, like why we need that. And if we start to do that identity shift, the action that comes after that identity is even more important. Okay. So my mission literally and why I'm here, why I offer to even do this, because some of you guys are probably thinking, why does she do these workshops for free or why does she do this? There is a mission behind everything that I do, why I started this in the first place. I was before so stuck inside my head, so stuck with potential. I knew I had potential, but I just didn't believe in myself. That I could do more and be more, but I just didn't know how to get that. So my mission has always been to help women break free from these patterns, okay? Whether that's on a local level like this today, where I spend 30 minutes just sharing some skills and knowledge on a workbook that you guys can take home. Amazing. Because what I know from working with women globally, which I've been so grateful that I've been able to do this right now, is that We all have ideas. We have amazing ideas. There's not one person here who doesn't have an idea that is absolutely insane. We have dreams. We have the skills. We have the knowledge. We have the passion. There's no lack of that. Okay. But what a lot of us don't have is the self belief to back ourselves to show up and go for it. Right. We hold ourselves back. And that's what breaks my heart is because so many people's visions just stay little notes in a notebook, never get to see the light of day, or they might, and it's just at a small level, and they're so afraid to like bigger or show somebody what they can do on a bigger level, or pitch themselves to this big corporation here, and God forbid they say no. Like, yeah, they might say no, but at least we've done it, right? So my whole mission and why I do this is because I genuinely do want to help people see that if we can back ourselves just a little bit more, it is such a power, right? It's a power that we have that nobody else can take away from us if we're able to show up and follow through with action, do the things we said we were going to do, call the people we need to call, do the outreach we need to do, create the content we want to create without holding back what we want to say, pitch in the groups. If any of you guys have something to offer, offer to do a workshop, get yourselves out there, get yourselves into the flow of what you want to do, collaborate with communities, because honestly, you cannot lose. And I mean this, you cannot lose if you show up and follow through. Okay, because the momentum's going to build, it's going to feel great. We're going to feel like we've done so much for ourselves. And even if nothing comes out of it, you're still practicing, right? We're getting good at what we do. We're talking about what we do, which is even more important. Um, so I do have a workbook for you guys. I also wanted to add this in here if any of you guys were interested. I have started bringing in, because I've now realized that not everyone wants to work with a coach long term. I've now started bringing in power sessions where we do like a 60-minute breakdown of your business, your patterns, your steps. And for 1 hour, we just focus on where you're sabotaging yourself and keeping yourself small, how your internal narratives right now or the stories that we are telling ourselves are affecting how you show up as a business owner, where the gap is with your confidence and how you can start trusting your decisions. And then we build a customized action plan so that you can take the next steps without doubting yourself and there's actually logic behind it. So I don't know if any of you guys are interested, but I wanted to add that in there because it's only new. I actually only started doing this officially the last couple of weeks. And you guys can reach out if you do need some information. But I'd love to spend just a few minutes. I think we have like 2 minutes left. If you guys have any questions, here is where you're going to get the workbook. Just send me a quick DM with the word workbook and I'll send it over to you guys. It is really, really straightforward. And I really do encourage you to get to know who that business owner version of you guys is, because then we can automatically step into her. But I don't want to spend the next 2 minutes yapping. So I want to give the floor to you guys. Have we got any questions before we get cut off?
Yeah, the timer is annoying me. I don't have any yet. And if anybody does, please unmute yourself and ask. Um, and even if you don't find it within the 2 minutes, we can put them in our community group, and then Stacey can take them there too. But if you do have them as of now,
Yes.
great. Other than that, I just do want to say thank you very much for doing this. This was so nice. So nice
You
to see
know,
so many of
no
us here.
worries.
And it's really valuable, and I'm just so happy.
Oh, I'm glad you took something from it. I
Yeah.
know we're under a little bit of time pressure, so if you guys do have any questions, reach out to me. The workbook is going to make this a lot clearer for you guys, and it doesn't take a whole pile of time, I promise.
Yeah.
I know we don't have time, we're all busy. I don't expect people to be sitting down for hours doing this work, but if you could just get crystal clear on who that version of you is, like this, we can literally step into her. Even when we're so scared, pitching ourselves in those big rooms, we can snap into her and instantly show up differently. But do any of you guys have any questions while I'm here? I think we have like 60 seconds. Let's do this.
It does help in a way. Like everybody has to think a
Yeah,
little bit fast. I think the only question that I would have is, you talk about stepping into this person and whoever this identity is. Um, what about the resistance that you feel of wanting to do that? The other person maybe is not there yet, but even the step or the decision to do that, like
yeah,
where do you get the courage or I guess the bravery to become that or to have this, I guess, strength to do it? I think I'm going to be cut off. It's really
yeah.
hard.
Such a such a great question. And if we get cut off, I'll voice note in the group, okay? So we
Okay.
won't miss this.
Okay, good.
But such a great question, right? A lot of people try to jump too big, right? They
Yeah.
go from being insecure, not feeling like a business owner, and then try to show up as this successful CEO who's making 100 million dirham a year, right? The gap is too big. Okay, it's unrealistic for so many of us at the very beginning to feel like that. So I always say make the next level identity just like 2 or 3 steps ahead of where you are now. Okay, so if you're just getting started and we have maybe a few clients but not enough